Not worth it. Yan ang initial reaction ko nung nakita ko yung presyo ng Disney Cruise tapos nalaman ko na wala itong stop sa kahit saan. Mula sa Singapore na home port nito, hindi ito magsastop sa Malaysia, sa Thailand, or kahit saan. Aandar lang tapos babalik din ng Singapore. But because we really wanted to try it and excite na kami since ito yung first Disney Cruise namin, nilaban na lang din namin. Pero wait, magkano nga ba ang magagastos? Ano ang meron sa loob ng barko? And worth it ba talaga? Hey there, Tipiter! We are Vince and Josh. We recently went on board the Disney Adventure, ang pinakabago and pinakamalaking barko ng Disney Cruise Line. Currently, naka-homeport ito sa Singapore and it is Disney's first ever homeport in Asia. Ito rin ang unang Disney cruise experience namin. And nakakapanibago din siya for us. Unlike sa Royal Caribbean na sanay na kami, dito sa Disney Cruise Guide natin, hindi ko mapapromise sa inyo na super familiar ako sa lahat. May sariling kultura and mga paandar din kasi sa Disney Cruises na unique or kakaiba sa ibang cruise companies. Nakakaliw din, to be honest, pero yun nga, hindi kami expert sa Disney Cruises. But lahat ng alam namin, isi-share namin in this video. The first thing that you need to know about Disney Adventures Singapore sailings is that at least as of this recording, wala itong ports of call. Ang tawag nila cruise to nowhere kasi hindi ka nga makakababa sa ibang destination. It will leave Singapore and spend the rest of the journey at sea until you return to Singapore then. Every single day is sea day. The ship itself is the destination. Ang options mo lang, pipili ka between 3-night round-trip sailing or 4-night round-trip sailing. Both are back-to-back at Marina Bay Cruise Center. So if you have more time, you could technically combine a 3-night and a 4-night sailing into a longer trip. Pero note that schedules and itineraries may change over time. So always check the official Disney Cruise Line website or your travel agent for the latest sailing dates. Since ang goal namin is to find out the minimum na pwede mong i-spend, we went for the 3-night sailing lang and booked the cheapest room. Napakita na namin sa inyo yan sa previous vlog natin. And on that note, pag-usapan natin yung mga rooms. The Disney Adventure has 2,111 staterooms spread across decks 5 to 13 and 15 to 18, split into 4 main categories. Yung una ay yung inside stateroom. Ito yung most budget-friendly option located sa interior of the ship with no window, kaya siya inside lang. Ocean View Stateroom, ito naman merong real porthole or window offering views of the sea. And meron ding Veranda Stateroom. Ito naman may private balcony and some of them overlook themed districts like yung Disney Imagination Garden and yung Disney Discovery Reef and yung iba pa. So, depende kung anong pipiliin nyo, tingnan nyo rin yung, or i-ask nyo sa travel agent kung ano ba yung gusto nyong view from your balcony. Meron ding open sea view, so kung mas gusto nyo na dagat, pwede rin naman yon. Bawat stateroom type, mapa inside man yan, ocean view, or veranda, may dalawang main types pa. Regular and deluxe. Yung deluxe, slightly mas malaki and slightly mas mahal. And typically, mas marami sa mga rooms ang deluxe kaysa yung regular. Kasi yung mga regular or yung non-deluxe, tawagin na lang natin silang non-deluxe, they are built beside indented sections of the hallway. The corridor takes a bite out of the room's footprint, so you get a smaller room with less open floor space. Mas maliit din yung toilet and bath. But it's not just the square footage. Yung layout is iba rin talaga. Yung mga deluxe kasi, based on the photos, usually may double bed, queen size yata yan. Ito yung typical na cruise ship configuration. Pero itong non-deluxe, bunk bed style. So for example, kami, ang binook namin yung inside stateroom na non-deluxe kasi mas mura. Nag-room tour na tayo sa previous video pero ipakita na lang natin ulit dito, right now. Ito yung pinakamurang nahanap natin. Yung room na to can accommodate up to 4 guests. Kasi 1, 2, 3, 4. Pero dahil dalawa lang tayo ni Vince, so dalawa lang yung inayos nila tapos ginawa na nilang parang couch. Wala siyang window, pero hindi naman siya masama. Hindi siya ganoon kasikip kasi maganda yung pagka-layout, very clever yung pagka-design ng room. Ayun. So, actually may dalawa pang workstations, tigisa. So, merong flat screen TV, may electric kettle, ayan, may tea, coffee, may cups, may glasses, may safe, may mini fridge, may cabinet. Yan. Tapos, ito yung pinaka-closet na. Door number 1. Toilet. Ayan. So, and may sink din ha. Yan, water pressure check. Tapos nakalagay, drinkable tap water. May sea salt hand soap. And ito, may light. At ang laman ng door number 2 ay shower. Okay din, hindi ganun kaliit. So ganun din, meron ding sink, hot and cold, water pressure check. May 4 na face towels, makeup remover na towel. Yung pinaka-shower niya is itong parang telephone style. Wala siya dun sa taas, hindi siya rainfall type. Ito lang siya. Yan. Tapos hot and cold din. Tapos merong shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. Okay, so ito naman yung mga sockets. Ito yung mga sockets. Makikita nyo sa screen kung anong type to. Pwede yung Australian dito. Ito, mas European style. 1 USB-A and 1 USB-C. So, isa lang yan. Pero dito, meron din. Same. So, 2 pairs. Ano to? Desk pa. Kung gusto nyo ng mas mahabang table. No? Kaya pa yan. Pwedeng iligay doon. Tapos, ito, meron ding USB-A dito and merong parang lamp. Yung size niya, it doesn't bother me. Hindi siya masikip. Very clever naman yung pagka-layout niya. Ang comment lang natin is medyo madilim. Madilim siya. So, yung pinaka-ilaw niya lang kasi is ito, yung linya na yan. Yan na yung pinaka-ilaw niya. Dalawa naman sila, pero madilim pa rin siya. So, kunyari, dahil nandyan yung ilaw, tas nandito yung kama, dito sa ilalim, sa may couch, madilim talaga. Hindi na nakakaabot yung liwanag dito. Yung second is, ito, masyado siyang bare. Or siguro dapat nandito yung mirror. Diba? Para mas mukha siyang malaki. Or, may maganda dito,
Tinkerbell.
closet door. Tapos, nakasilip si Mike Wazowski. Tama ba? Pag gagawin nyo yung Disney Cruise kailangan namin ng cut for the idea. Meron ding tinatawag na concierge, staterooms, and suites. Ito naman yung pinaka-premium na tier nila with several rooms themed after Disney and Pixar stories like Aladdin, Frozen, Moana, and The Little Mermaid. Meron ding mga Marvel options. Yung mga concierge guests get priority check-in and boarding, and meron din silang access to an exclusive lounge and dedicated staff assistance throughout the cruise. Pero ito, most staterooms are good for 4 guests or quad sharing. Although, pinaka-comfortable syempre kung dalawahan lang. Pero mas mura kasi siyang papatak on average per person kung quad sharing instead of kung dalawa lang. Pero, magkano ba? Before that, please take the time to support us by subscribing to this channel. Just hit the subscribe button, ring the bell beside it, and turn on notifications so you're always updated kapag may new video tayo. And please save and use yung mga promo codes natin for various travel websites. Makikita nyo sa screen. Makakakuha na kayong discounts, will also be credited for every booking. So, screenshot nyo na yan. Yan. So, eto na. How much is a Disney Adventure Cruise? As with any other cruise, Disney Cruise Line uses a dynamic pricing system. So, yung presyo depends on your travel dates, cabin category, and ongoing promotions. As of this writing, ito yung lowest rates for the Disney Adventure kung 3 nights tapos inside stateroom. Kasi nga, yung pinakamura yung hinahanap natin. So, for double occupancy, 1,100 USD or around 68,000 pesos. Kung per person, 34,000 yan. Kung quad sharing naman or apat kayong mag-share sa room, 1,942 USD or 120,000 pesos. For the room yun ha, so kung per person, nasa 30,000. Ito yung starting rates lang. Some dates and other rooms are higher. And these are kung adults yung mga magsistay. Yung adults ay 18 years old and above. Yung children ay 2 to 17 years old. So kunyari, nagbubukas sa website, yung 17 years old, parang nasa children siya na category. Pero yung 13 to 17 years old, adult rate na siya. Meaning, yung presyo na matcha-charge sa 13 years old ay same ng matcha-charge sa 30 years old kahit na-tag sila as children. Ang mas mababa lang talaga na children ay yung from 12 years old below. Sila yung children rate talaga. Yung infants naman ay 7 months to 2 years old. And yung 6 months or younger, ito yung mga newborns, hindi sila allowed sa barko. Hindi pa. So, kunyari, doon tayo sa quad sharing interior stateroom. Diba, 30,000 pesos per person yon for a 3-night cruise. For me, sulit na yon, considering na yung kasama na dyan sa babayaran mo ay yung stateroom accommodations, unlimited meals at rotational dining restaurants. Mamaya mas i-explain ko yan. Kasama na din dyan yung entertainment or yung mga Broadway-style shows, mga parties, movie screenings at iba pa. And access to most onboard amenities like yung mga rides and yung mga theme districts. Kasama na rin dyan yung character encounters. Usually, kailangan mo talagang i-schedule yung mga character meet and greet. Pero every now and then, meron kayong mga shows na makikita na nagpa-perform sila. Minsan makakasalubong mo rin sila. Ito naman yung hindi kasama or ito yung exclusions. Siyempre yung airfare to and from Singapore, yung hotel mo sa Singapore before and after the cruise, kung halimbawa mag-extend ka or gusto mo mas maaga dumating, and yung bayad sa specialty dining restaurants kung kakain ka dun sa mga yon. Pero makakatagal ka naman sa buong sailing nang hindi kumakain dun sa mga specialty restaurants. Like, kunyari kami, hindi naman kami nag-specialty restaurant ever. Wala kaming binayarang extra sa anything na food-related. As in, puro mga complimentary yung kiniinan namin at mga in-avail talaga namin. Hindi rin kasama yung Wi-Fi packages. Mamaya, i-explain ko yan kung magkano. And hindi rin kasama yung gratuities unless pinrepay mo siya. Kasi pwede mo kasi siyang bayaran in advance. Pero pwede rin na on-board mo na. Mamaya ko rin i-discuss yan. And, syempre, kung magpapaspa ka, di ba, massage, haircut, or kung ano-ano, or order ka ng alcoholic drinks, and magsha-shopping ka, syempre, hindi nakasama yon. And since there are no ports of call, wala ka na rin kailangang i-budget for excursions. Kasi usually, yan yung nagpapamahal din kasi ng gastos kapag cruise, yung mga shore excursions. So, hindi mo na problema yon. Required ba ang visa? Ito, nakukuha pa rin natin to madalas na question. So, hindi. Hindi mo kailangan ng visa if you're a Philippine passport holder kasi Filipinos enjoy visa-free entry to Singapore for short stays, typically up to 30 days. So, no visa is required just to fly in, embark, and disembark in Singapore. Pero, kailangan mo pa rin ng passport ha kasi pupunta ka ng Singapore, lalabas ka ng Pilipinas. Okay, ngayon naman, saan ba pwedeng mag-book? You can book directly through the official Disney Cruise Line website or through an accredited travel agency. As far as I know, meron lang 5 authorized distributors of Disney Cruises in the Philippines. Distributors ha, so under these distributors, meron pang iba-ibang mga travel agencies na sila yung nagbebenta pa. One of the 5 authorized distributors ay Executive Resources. Isa rin sila sa biggest travel agency sa Pilipinas. So kami, we partnered with Executive Resources para it's easier for you guys to book Disney cruises. So we set up itong Wonder Monsters account to facilitate yung booking ng the Poor Traveler viewers, followers, and subscribers. It's managed by our friend Asta. Siya yung lagi namin kasamang mag-cruise. Malamang nakikita nyo siya sa ibang mga videos natin. And kahit sa ibang mga trips, hindi lang cruises. So if you're interested sa Disney Cruises, you can inquire or request for a quote by emailing ask@wondermonsters.com or i-message nyo yung Facebook page natin. Ito yung facebook.com/wondermonsters. Si Asta yung makakausap nyo dyan most likely. Pareho lang ang presyo ng Disney Cruises kahit sa website ka man or sa travel agency ka man mag-book. May mga agencies na nagpapatong or may service or admin fee pa, pero itong Executive Resources, hindi. And kami rin, sa Wonder Monsters, hindi kami nagpapatong. So kung ano yung presyo sa website, ganun din yung makukuha nyong quote sa Wonder Monsters. Pero note na, if pesos kasi kayo magbabayad, syempre, nagbabago-bago yung exchange rate ng, di ba, USD to PHP. So depende kung kailan kayo magbubook. So merong adjustment sa mangyayari. Full disclosure, if idaan nyo kasi yung pag-book nyo sa Wonder Monsters, we get a commission for every booking at no extra cost sa inyo. So, hindi siya magiging mas mahal just because dinaan nyo siya kay Wonder Monsters. Again, same lang ang presyo. Sa nakikita nyo kasing publish rates, included na dyan yung commission ng distributor and ng agency. So, hindi na siya kailangang dagdagan pa. If sa website kayo magbubook, same price talaga, pero yung full amount mapupunta diretsyo kay Disney Cruises. If nakatulong naman sa inyo yung video na to, idaan nyo na kay Wonder Monsters para naman makagawa pa kami ng mas marami pang useful travel videos tulad nito. And ang maganda din kasi kapag idaan nyo sa any travel agency, ma-assist din kayo and may mapagtatanungan kayo na Pinoy din talaga. Kasi important yan, lalo na if first time nyo pa lang na magku-cruise, lalo na kapag Disney Cruise. Kasi nakakalito rin kasi talaga siya, lalo for first timers. By the way, pagdating sa payment, although may mga travelers na mas gusto nila magbayad ng full amount ng isang bagsakan, normally, you will only be charged at 10% deposit. Initially ha, then yung 90% na balance, matcha-charge kayo 100 days before yung sailing date. So, kunyari, ang target na sailing date mo ay mid-June pa, next year. Yung babayaran mo pa lang ngayon is 10% na deposit. Tapos yung 90%, kailangan mo siyang mabayaran sa March pa, early March pa. Kasi 100 days from the date of sailing, pabalik. Hindi mo kailangang bayaran ng buo ngayon na. Basta dapat 100 days before, dun siya complete payment. So, ayun, you'll also find the email and the FB page ng Wonder Monsters sa bottom ng video na to. Ano naman ang mga dapat mong i-prepare before your Disney cruise? Kanina I mentioned na hindi kailangan ng visa if you're a Philippine passport holder papunta sa Singapore. Pero meron ka pa rin mga kailangan na i-prepare beforehand. So yung una, sabi ko na kanina, passport. Valid for at least 6 months from your travel date. International pa rin kasi ito and kailangan mo yan para makapasok sa Singapore and makalabas ng Pilipinas. Kailangan mo rin i-accomplish ang Singapore Arrival Card and masubmit ito online within 3 days before arrival. Mandatory ito for all travelers na papasok ng Singapore. Ito yung link. Yan. Kita nyo sa screen. And kailangan nyo rin ng credit card or cash para sa onboard charges and incidentals. So, mas madali kapag credit card, as in hassle-free naman siya, basta maayos yung credit limit nyo, hindi kayo mag-exceed. Pero kung wala kayong credit card, pwede naman yung cash. May paraan naman para makapag-deposit kayo na cash yung ginagamit, even on board. Ito naman, yung susunod kong mga sasabihin, hindi sila required pero strongly recommended. Or ito yung mga nice to have. Una is yung Disney Cruise Line Navigator app or at least access sa website nila, yung official website. Kasi gagamitin mo yan for online check-in, dining and activity reservations, and getting around the ship. You'll also see schedules of restaurants, attractions, and character meet and greets dun sa app and sa website. Download it before your trip for a hassle-free sailing. Mas maganda rin kung kukuha ka ng travel insurance para in case something untoward happens, you're protected financially. PGA Sompo Travel Joy offers coverage for cruise trips. Just visit www.thepoortraveler.net/protect. Yan yung link sa screen. And don't forget to use the code WORTHIT to score a lower rate. For a short stay in Singapore na may 3-night or 4-night na cruise, you can get the budget or standard policy. Yung budget costs 673 pesos and yung standard naman ay 721 pesos. Na-apply na yung worth it na code dyan. And kung gusto nyong maki-join or mag-participate dun sa mga fish extenders and pixie dusting, lalo na if meron kayong kasamang mga bata, gawin nyo rin kasi fun siya. So, nung una actually, nahirapan akong intindihin itong dalawang concepts na to. Pero I'll try na mas maipaliwanag sa inyo the best way na kaya ko. So itong fish extenders and pixie dusting ay dalawang tradisyon observed by Disney cruisers. Yung fish extenders na term, fish extenders can refer to two things. Pwedeng yung actual physical organizers or yung, alam niyo parang may pockets na pwede mong isabit sa door. So, fish extenders din kasi yung tawag doon. Kaya siya fish extender kasi typically yung mga newer ships kasi ng Disney Cruise Line, meron silang either fish or iba pang sea animals doon sa door na parang decorative figure siya. So, sinasabit siya doon, kaya siya naging fish extender yung tawag. So, basically, para siyang mga pockets na pwede mong lagyan ng kung anek-anek. Ganon. Basically, para siyang exchange gift. Before the cruise, pwede kang mag-join ng group sa Facebook or other platforms na para doon sa mga passengers nung specific sailing na yon. Tapos, sign up ka for a fish extender exchange. You'll be assigned other cabins. Tapos, magli-leave ka doon ng small gifts throughout the voyage. And ikaw din, you can expect na makaka-receive ka ng gifts kasi may iba rin na maa-assignan nung cabin mo na other cabins. Ganyan. Yung mga typical na gifts, pwede yung Disney pins, snacks, candies, keychains, ref magnets, mga personalized na souvenirs or kahit hindi personalized, basta souvenirs, and toys for kids, pwede. So it's a great way to meet fellow cruisers and it's also fun for kids and Disney fans. Pero, kailangan nyo tandaan na yung ganitong concept, yung tradition na to, it's a commitment. You can expect to receive gifts kasi you're also expected to give. Diba? It's an organized exchange gift system. Yun yung kaibahan ng fish extenders sa pixie dusting. Yung pixie dusting kasi, in a way, para siyang random act of kindness. Paandar, ganun. So instead of joining an organized exchange, you simply surprise other guests with little gifts. For example, pwede kang mag-iwan ng, kunyari, maliit na souvenir or a note, ganyan. Dun sa fish extender ng iba, pwede ka ring mamigay lang, kunyari, friendship bracelet or stickers, mamigay ka lang randomly. You're not committed to do anything and spontaneous siya. Pwedeng napadaan ka lang sa door ng isang cabin, tapos maglagay ka ng gift doon sa fish extender nila. Pero you shouldn't expect to receive gifts in return, though you might be pixie dusted by someone else. So if important sa inyo to receive something, for example, if meron kayong kids and you want your kids to experience the magic of receiving a gift from other people, better to join a fish extender community online. Pero make sure na you also prepare a gift for the cabin na assigned sa'yo. Kasi iba talaga yung saya ng mga bata kapag may nakikita silang treat sa door nila, di ba? Pixie dusting naman is a great opportunity to teach kids the act of giving without expecting anything in return. So, it's up to you kung ano yung gusto nyong gawin. Pwede rin namang pareho. Pwede kayong sumali ng fish extender group. And at the same time, randomly namimigay kayo sa iba pang mga cabins, yung sa mga fish extenders nila, nagda-drop kayo ng little treats. Pwede rin naman yun. Nakaranas kami, nabigyan kami ng chocolate dun sa cabin namin kahit na hindi naman kami sumali sa any group or whatsoever, di ba? So, nakakatuwang makaranas ng ganon. Ito naman yung mga kailangan nyong gawin before yung sailing ninyo. Una, download the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app on your phone. Pwede ring i-access nyo lang yung official website. Tapos, i-link nyo yung reservation nyo using your booking details. Then, complete online check-in which typically opens weeks before your sailing date. Tapos, sa process na yan, you'll be asked to provide yung passport scan nyo, photo for identification, and emergency contact details, and pati na rin payment information. So, pwede nyo nang i-enter dyan yung credit card or I think debit card is pwede rin. Pero kung wala kayong ganon or ayaw nyo lang, meron din option akong nakita na cash. So pwede rin naman yun. Then select your port arrival time. Like most cruise lines, Disney assigns arrival windows to manage crowding at the terminal. Sa experience namin, yung earliest na nakita namin ay 1 p.m. Tapos yung latest ay 3 p.m. So pili lang kayo doon. Depende sa anong oras ba darating yung flight nyo or whatever. So kung saan kayo komportable or confident na mag-show up kayo sa time na yon. Then, confirm and save your boarding pass sa app or i-print nyo na rin for backup. So, depende sa inyo. Since yung boarding for the Disney Adventure typically begins around 1 p.m., many guests fly and explore Singapore for a day or two beforehand. Mahirap din kasing mag-book ng flight on the same day as boarding. Hindi siya advisable kasi if biglang ma-delay or ma-cancel yung flight nyo, baka maiwanan kayo ng barko and hindi naman kayo hihintayin nun. It's best to fly in a day or two before talaga. If you want to stay close to the port, look at hotels around the Marina Bay area for easy access to the cruise center. And proximity na rin to attractions like Gardens by the Bay, Marina Bay Sands, Art Science Museum, ganyan. Pero tandaan na yung mga hotels na to are usually very expensive. I mean, Singapore hotels are generally expensive naman na to begin with, but even more so sa area na to. Pero don't worry kasi merong MRT station near the cruise port. Hindi siya katabing-katabi. Actually, medyo mahaba-habang lakad siya, pero it's mostly shaded naman and paved yung walkway. Madali lang naman. So, as long as malapit sa MRT yung ibubook nyong hotel, you should be fine. Kami, we stayed at V Hotel Lavender, which is situated directly above Lavender MRT Station. As in, paglabas mo ng MRT station, isang kembot lang, yun na, yung hotel na. And dahil nga malapit sa MRT, accessible din from most key attractions, kahit nga sa Changi Airport and syempre, sa Marina Bay Cruise Center. Ayan mga tipiters, so nandito na tayo sa V Hotel Lavender. Maraming V Hotels dito sa Singapore, so yung binook natin ay yung dito sa Lavender branch. So itong room na to, by Singaporean standards, malaki na to kasi at the end of the day, ang V Hotel ay considered na rin na budget hotel. Pero unlike sa mga counterparts niya na talagang wala halos space, yung ibang mga budget hotels dito sa Singapore, ayun na lang nating mag-mention ng names. Pero marami sa mga budget hotels sa Singapore, as in kama lang talaga, tapos may konting space lang. Pero dito, makaka-move around ka. Di ba? Yan, makakabali ka. Check. May chair, na maliit, may side table, meron pa ditong, kung ano man tawag dito, parang ledge, churot upuan, na concrete. By the window, may view naman ang mga building. Merong malaking flat screen TV and yung Wi-Fi password ay naka-display. So after nyo mag-check-in, hanapin nyo lang yung passwords dun sa screen. Meron tayong espresso machine. May tea, coffee, cups. Yan. Yung socket nila is universal. Meron ding isa pang magkabilaang side, merong universal socket and dalawang USB-A ports. May isa pa doon, pero hindi na natin i-close up yan. Sabitan ng eme. Yan. Toilet and bath. Pasok-pasok. Ayan. Maliit lang, pero kompleto naman. Merong rain style na shower. Merong telephone na shower head. Merong shampoo and conditioner. Water pressure check. 1, 2, 3. Ayun! So dito na natin sa banyo tatapusin ang ating room tour. And marami ring masasarap na kainan around. Ang lapit lang din sa Kampong Glam and Bugis. You can get a twin or double room for as low as 118 SGD or 5,670 pesos per night. Higher kapag peak season. Pero kami, we paid around 5,900 pesos per night on Klook. Good for 2 na yan. So makikita nyo siya sa Klook, available din yan sa Agoda. Kung saan man kayo, sanay mag-book ng hotels, hanapin nyo if interested kayo. But please don't forget to use our promo codes. For Klook, it's the Poor Traveler Klook for up to 800 pesos off. Or visit thepoortraveler.net/Klook. For Agoda naman, it's Agoda TPT for 8 to 10% off, maximum of 6,200 pesos. Or visit thepoortraveler.net/Agoda, automatically redeem the discount. So, ano ba yung mga dapat nyong dalhin on board? Siyempre, damit. Pero anong klase? Disney cruises tend to be casual by day and a bit more dress up kapag ka-dinner or pag gabi na, lalo na sa mga rotational restaurants and kapag merong special themed nights. Smart casual works for most dining venues. Wala akong na-experience na kailangan ng formal wear sa 3-night sailing namin. So, hindi naman siguro kailangan. Pero, smart casual, pwede na yon for dinners. And syempre, kung may bala kayong lumangoy sa pool, dapat meron kayong proper swimwear. Huwag nyo rin kalimutang magdala ng portable charger or power bank kasi you'll be relying on your phone for the Navigator app throughout the cruise. And toiletries like toothbrush, toothpaste, and other essentials kasi yung provided lang ay shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. Dala na rin kayo ng sunscreen, sunglasses, and sombrero kasi you likely spend time outdoors, mapa sa Disney Imagination Garden man yan or sa top deck. Ito naman yung mga hindi nyo dapat dalhin on board. Siyempre, illegal drugs and substances, firearms, ammunition and weapons, kahit replica lang, flammable liquids and explosives, sharp objects, items that produce heat, like kunyari, kandila, plancha, ganyan, and extension cords or power strips. Meron namang universal sockets sa room, tapos meron ding USB-A and USB-C na ports na pwede nyo gamitin pang charge ng mga gadgets. Paano naman mag-board? Yung ginagamit na terminal ng Disney Adventure ay itong Marina Bay Cruise Center, located sa 61 Marina Coastal Drive. Paano ba makapunta dito? Yung nearest MRT station ay Marina South Pier, na within walking distance lang of Marina Bay Cruise Center. So, mahaba-habang lakad siya, mga 10 to 15 minutes. Pero again, tulad na sabi ko kanina, sheltered naman yung daan, flat and paved yung walkway. So kahit may dala kayong maleta, as long as nahihila nyo siya, madali lang. As in, nalakad namin siya, dire-diretso lang naman kami. Nung nilakad namin to, yung pabalik na eh. Pero nung papunta kami, nag-grab kami from V Lavender Hotel. From the airport, nasa 2.33 SGD lang yung pamasahe dyan. Sobrang mura lang, 100 plus pesos lang yan pag kinonvert. Kung galing ka naman sa V Hotel Lavender, kung saan kami nagstay, 1.59 yata yung pamasahe. Kung MRT ha, so mas mura pa. Pero pwede rin kayo mag-grab or taxi. Kung mag-grab kayo from V Hotel Lavender, ang pamasahe ay 12 SGD or 574 pesos. So kung kunyari, 3 kayo, di na masama. Kasi lalabas nasa 4 SGD na lang yan per person, di ba? How to check in and board the ship. Una, make sure you've completed online check-in via the Navigator app beforehand. This makes boarding day much smoother. Step 2, arrive within your assigned port arrival time. In our case, yung boarding kasi began at 1 p.m. Pagdating nyo doon sa cruise center, you'll find several pila arranged by arrival time. May pila for 1 p.m., may pila for 1:15, 1:30, 2 p.m. So hanapin nyo lang kung ano ba yung binok nyo doon sa app. Pero wait, bago pa pala kayo pumila doon sa papasok sa loob, i-drop off nyo na yung luggage nyo at the designated area outside the terminal. So mauuna yon, mauunang kunin yung bags nyo for check-in, tapos tsaka kayo pumila doon sa papasok. Step 4, go through security and immigration checks at the terminal. Yung process, actually, ang bilis lang. Sobrang smooth lang. Dire-diretso lang kami kasi nga parang na-spread nila throughout the afternoon by batch kasi yung pagpasok. So, parang like 10 to 15 minutes, dire-diretso lang talaga kami. Just make sure lang na naka-ready yung mga documents nyo para kapag hiningi, kapag nasa counter na kayo or kapag may staff na magche-check, mapapakita nyo kaagad. And ayun, board the ship na. Sobrang bilis lang talaga niya, nagulat din kami. Pero ano ba yung mga dapat gawin after nyo mag-board? So, let's say, nasa barko na kayo, nakapasok na kayo. Kami, ang una namin ginawa was to grab a bite or explore kasi hindi pa ready yung room. So, usually kasi nagiging ready yung room parang hours pa after mag-start talaga yung boarding. So, it's a great time para maglibot-libot, i-check out nyo. Lalo na sa top deck, masaya mag-ikot-ikot doon. Bukas na doon agad yung Pizza Planet. So, pwede na kayong mag-only pizza. Andun din yung mga drinking fountains, yung only soft drinks, only juice. Pwede na kayong mag-picture-picture, gala-gala kayo doon sa top deck. Makikita nyo na yung mga rides. 'Di ba? Mas mafe-feel nyo na, ay, nasa barko na talaga ako, ganyan. And makakakain na kayo. And kapag ready na yung room, baba na kayo dun sa stateroom ninyo and look for your luggage. Usually, na-deliver na yan sa labas ng stateroom ninyo. Tapos, sa labas ng stateroom ninyo, dun sa may door, makikita nyo yung key to the world card. Ito yung onboard ID, stateroom key, and payment card nyo all in one. Yan. So, yan yung, tawagin na lang natin siyang key card kasi ang haba-haba ng key to the world card. Kasi yung key card, yan yung parang pinaka-important na item din ninyo on board. Kasi lagi nyo siyang gagamitin, lagi yung hihingin kapag order kayo ng something, kapag papasok kayo sa room, kapag magbabayad kayo, yan yung ginagamit. So, yun, nandun lang yan sa door ninyo. So, make sure, di ba, pagdating nyo sa room ninyo, kunin nyo yung card, tapos make sure nyo na inyo talaga. Di ba, na nandun, pangalan nyo yung nandun. Then, attend the mandatory safety briefing or drill. Check nyo lang yung navigator app ninyo kung ano yung assigned time and muster station ninyo. And kung may energy kayo, actually, kahit wala, ipilit nyo na lang. Punta kayo sa sail away party at Disney Imagination Garden. You can expect character appearances like sina Captain Mickey, Captain Minnie, Cinderella, iba-iba pang princesses, and iba't ibang mga Marvel superheroes. Okay, so yan yung mga kailangan yung malaman before the sailing. Punta naman tayo sa next chapter ng video na to, which is yung mga dapat yung tandaan during the sailing na. Unahin na natin kung saan ba kakain. Yung kakaiba sa Disney Cruise Line ay meron silang tinatawag na rotational dining concept. So, yung paandar na yan, basically, you get assigned a themed main dining restaurant for dinner each night. So, yes, ibang restaurant every night. Pero what's great about it is, yung assigned servers mo move with you. Meaning, even though iba-iba yung kinakainan mong restaurant kada gabi, yung wait staff mo, yung main server, assistant server, at saka yung head server, sila pa rin. Parang nagmo-move sila with you. Sila pa rin yung nagsaserve sa inyo. So, hindi kayo naninibago, hindi kayo nag-a-adjust every night. Kilala pa rin nila kayo by name, di ba? Kilala nyo rin sila. Makakapagaan ng loob nyo sila kasi sila yung kasama nyo every night. May 6 main dining restaurants on board na part ng rotational dining. Yan yung Hollywood Spotlight Club, Navigators Club, Animators Palette, Animators Table, Enchanted Summer Restaurant, and Pixar Market Restaurant. If you're on a 3-night cruise, you'll be assigned 3 restaurants, 1 for each night. Sa case namin, yung na-assign sa amin ay yung Animators Table nung night 1, Enchanted Summer Restaurant on night 2, and Hollywood Spotlight Club on night 3. Yung Enchanted Summer na resto, carry lang siya, okay lang, typical cruise dining, pero yung Animators Table and Hollywood Spotlight Club, sobrang aliw na aliw ako sa kanilang dalawa. Yung Animators Table kasi, habang naghihintay ka ng order mo, you'll be asked na mag-draw or mag-sketch nung character sa isang papel. It doesn't need to be super ganda, super detalyado. Kahit nga stick figures pwede na eh. But you can also be super creative kung bet nyo, di ba? So, makikita niyo sa screen, yan yung drawing ko. Medyo galit na galit yung character ko. Wala yata siya sa mood. Mamaya i-explain ko kung bakit bago matapos ang video na to. Basta towards the end of the meal, yung characters na dinrawing yung lahat sa room, they will come to life dun sa mga screens around the restaurant. Sobrang cute, sobrang aliw na experience siya, lalo na sa mga bata, sin nagwawala yung mga bata dun, tuwang-tuwa sila. Yung Hollywood Spotlight Club naman is where you'll see Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, and Donald Duck perform up close. And yes, you can grab a quick photo up with them. Emphasis on quick kasi mabilis lang talaga. Pero it was the perfect last dinner on board, to be honest. Now, these restaurants are assigned randomly, at least that's what we are told. We were also told that you can request to be assigned certain restaurants upon booking, pero nothing is guaranteed because it's subject to availability. And complicated din kasi yung mga assignment na ganyan eh. So yung rotational restaurants are included in your booking, di ba? You don't need to pay extra for it. Unless you order wine or other alcoholic drinks or premium items, dun ka palang magbabayad. Pero generally, kung yung standard menu, kasama na yun sa binayaran mo, hindi mo kailangan bumunot. And yes, unlimited yan. You can order multiple appetizers kung gusto mo, multiple main courses kung gutom na gutom ka, multiple desserts kung hindi ka makapili, it's up to you. Even yung sodas and juices are free of charge too. You can eat or drink to your heart's content. Aside sa 6 rotational dining restaurants, meron ding ibang complimentary dining spots. Marami dyan ay quick service yung style nila. pwede kang mag-lunch, pwede ring snacks at no additional charge. So, andyan yung Grandma Tala's Kitchen, Pacific Islands and Asian-inspired yung dishes dyan. Mowgli's Eatery, Indian cuisine naman yan, mga curry, ganyan, including vegetarian options. Andyan din yung Stitches Ohana Grill, mga burgers, sandwiches, and iba pang mga grilled na staples. And Pizza Planet, freshly made pizza by the slice, pwede ring isang buong pie kung family kayo. Cosmic Kebabs, and iba pang mga wraps. And meron ding Wheezy's Freezies. Yan naman, complimentary soft serve ice cream. May strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. Tapos meron ding mga mix-mix. Ganyan. Basta yung swirled na kunyari, strawberry and vanilla or chocolate and strawberry. Ganyan. A couple of things worth noting. Una, Enchanted Summer Restaurant and Pixar Market Restaurant, while part of the rotational dining lineup for dinner, also serve as buffet-style venues for breakfast and lunch. We also got to have lunch sa Navigators Club, so even if hindi kayo ma-assign doon for dinner, you can still experience them during the day. Meron ding 24-hour room service na may charge siya, pero I think hindi siya included sa cruise fare. Tapos, bukod sa mga complimentary restaurants and food spots na nabanggit ko, meron din silang tinatawag na specialty restaurants. And kung dito ka kakain, may charge na to na extra. Andyan ang Palo Trattoria, Italian fine dining yan. Mike and Sully's Flavors of Asia, Pan-Asian specialty dining naman yan. Taverna Porto Rosso, Mediterranean-inspired dining na themed after Luca. And Bewitching Boba and Brews. Ang dami ring mga iba't ibang bars and lounges. Pero kamusta ba yung food? Like most cruises, the food sa Disney Adventure ay mixed bag siya for me. Some dishes impressed us right away. Others, particularly yung mga appetizers and small plates, didn't quite hit the mark. Parang, basta hit and miss siya for me. Pero when it comes to the main courses, there were some real standouts. Yung steaks, rarely disappointed. And dessert was consistently excellent, especially yung pudding nila. Kasi minsan, iba-ibang klaseng pudding eh. Siguro, mas iisa-isahin na lang natin yung lahat ng kinain namin in another video. Hahaba na to masyado. Pero overall, while not every dish was memorable, there were enough standout meals naman. We still prefer yung food ng Royal Caribbean, to be honest. Pero okay naman na. Ito naman yung mga pwede mong gawin on board. The Disney Adventure is organized into 7 themed districts spread across decks 6 to 19 rather than yung traditional single atrium layout. Andyan yung Disney Imagination Garden, yan yung heart of the ship and its main outdoor gathering space featuring a storybook castle dun sa dulo. May lush gardens din and open air stage. And dito ginaganap yung Sail Away Party, character appearances, and yung Avengers Assemble. Yung Town Square naman, inspired by the charming streets seen sa mga classic Disney films. May Well Done from Snow White, diba? Basta marami, kung anek-anek. Minsan, meet and greet location din ito. Pero it's a great place to stroll, shop for souvenirs, or gusto nyo lang ma-feel yung pagka-Disney talaga niya. Ang hindi ko lang gusto dito kasi medyo low ceiling kasi siya. So medyo nasisikipan ako sa Town Square. Andyan din ang Disney Discovery Reef. Ito naman, very vibrant, very colorful na open-air area themed after yung mga underwater na Disney and Pixar stories like Little Mermaid, Finding Nemo, ganyan. So, merong mga pools, splash areas, meron din mga casual dining spots, and mga lounges. Ang favorite spot ko ay itong San Francisco Street, inspired by the futuristic city from Big Hero 6. Ito, very lively na entertainment district. May mga shops din. May National Geographic shop nga eh. May arcades, mga interactive na mga games. And meron ding sinihan. Yan yung Baymax Cinemas. And yung pinaka-interesting nung time na nandun kami is yung Zootopia 2 kasi hindi ko pa napanood yun that time. And syempre, Wayfinder Bay. Ito naman, Moana-inspired outdoor retreat overlooking the sea. Kapag araw, it's a family-friendly water play area na merong pool, may splash area din. Pero may mga gabi na nagiging venue ito for entertainment and basta mga live performances. Andyan din ang Toy Story Place. Ito, very colorful din na play zone where guests are shrunk to the size of Andy's toys. Designed naman ito specifically for families and young children. Meron din itong themed pools, May splash areas din, may water slides, and larger-than-life Toy Story characters. And yung pinaka-hype na area, syempre, is yung Marvel Landing. May 3 rides naman dito, pero yung pinaka-sikat ay yung Iron Cycle Test Run, an 820-foot Iron Man-themed roller coaster, and ito raw yung longest roller coaster at sea. Pero for some reason, yung roller coaster na yan, sarado siya during our voyage. So hindi namin siya na-try. Yung 2 lang yung na-try namin. Siyempre, meron ding mga deck parties, karaoke, may spa din, may gym, and iba-ibang mga lounges and nightclubs for adults. Pero ito yung para sa akin na hindi nyo dapat ma-miss talaga. Una is yung Avengers Assemble. Sa Disney Imagination Garden ito ginaganap. Very action-packed ito na stunt show which brings together some of Marvel's biggest heroes na away-away sila doon. May battle sila doon. May story naman siya, pero magaling yung fight choreography, may mga special effects din. And ang daming moments, makikita nyo magsayaw si Deadpool ng bye bye bye. Merong moment si Wanda, Scarlet Witch, may moment si Spider-Man, Black Panther, and syempre Iron Man, di ba? Yun. Next is Remember yung name ng show. Sa Walt Disney Theater naman ito. This is the ship's signature Broadway-style production featuring stunning sets, meron ding mga visual effects, and may performances that celebrate Disney's timeless stories and music. Ang bida naman dito is si Wall-E. I think sa mga recent Disney movies kasi, ang relative pala ng recent I mean like within the past 20 years, nung malaki na ako, yan. Yung mga 3D, Wall-E kasi yung pinaka-favorite ko sa kanilang lahat. Kasi maraming mga areas sa barko na nagpapalabas sila ng mga Disney movies eh. Nung Wall-E yung palabas sa top deck, umupo talaga ako, pinanood ko, tinapos ko talaga. Kahit na inabot ako ng madaling araw bago makabalik ng room. And pangatlo, The Lion King Celebration in the Sky. Ito naman, ginaganap sa top deck, open air. And para siyang yung mga nighttime spectacular sa mga Disneyland, pero mas low-key lang. Hindi ganun kabongga, pero meron ding mga, may fireworks, may projections, di ba? Parang retelling siya ng Lion King. Ito naman yung mga attractions for children and teens. For babies and toddlers na 6 months to 3 years old, andyan yung It's a Small World na nursery. May supervised childcare yan with trained counselors. May additional na bayad kung i-avail nyo yan. Andyan din ang Mickey and Minnie Captain's Deck. Nautical-themed indoor play area naman yan, designed for little cruisers. And for kids naman, ages 3 to 10, yung highlight naman is yung Disney's Oceaneer Club na maraming zones. Yung una is yung Marvel Web Workshop, may Andy's Toy Box, Fairy Tale Hall, and Walt Disney Imagineering Lab, where kids can design their own roller coaster and virtually ride yung roller coaster na gawa nila. For tweens, age 11 to 14, andyan yung Edge na para siyang shop, para rin siyang cafe na yung mga tweens pwedeng mag-video games, pwede silang manood ng movies, pwede silang mag-hangout lang, make new friends, ganyan, under the supervision of Disney counselors. For teens naman, 14 to 17, makikita nyo naman yung vibe. Yan naman, mukha siyang vintage record store, pero pwede rin sila mag-socialize dyan, mag-play ng games, may movies din. Meron din mga organized activities without parents tagging along. So, parang sila-sila, ganyan, mga teens. And bukod sa mga yan, marami pang mga family-friendly attractions. So, kanina nabanggit ko na yung Marvel Landing. Bukod sa Iron Cycle Test Run, nandyan din yung Team Quantum Racers, Groot Galaxy Spin. Tapos may Big Hero Arcade sa San Francisco Street. May Baymax Cinemas nga, Toy Story Place. Ang dami pwedeng gawin talaga. So, yun yung for kids. How about for seniors? Senior and PWD friendly ba ang Disney Adventure? And yes, like most modern cruise ships, itong Disney Adventure was built with accessibility in mind. Maraming mga accessible rooms with wider doorways, roll-in showers, and support bars, and usually closer ito sa elevators. I-indicate nyo lang na kailangan nyo ng accessible room kapag nagbubook kayo. I haven't tried this ship with a senior or PWD, pero we will soon be sailing again kasi on the ship with Yung nanay ko na senior and iba pa naming kamag-anak na puro seniors. So, baka gumawa ako ng separate video about cruising with seniors by next year na yon. Kasi next year pa yung sailing na. Pero eto, how about internet connection? As of our sailing, yung internet rate for one device ay 26 USD or 1,600 pesos per day. Yun yung regular na internet na access. Meron ding option na internet plus streaming. 42 USD naman yan or 2,590 pesos per day. The internet option will allow you to browse the web and send or receive emails, access social media and messaging apps, as well as use voice and video calls, WhatsApp, FaceTime, Zoom, ganyan. Pero yung internet plus streaming option naman, yan naman yung pwede kang mag-YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, and Spotify. And mas mabilis din yung connection. Pero, yan yung per day ha. Pero meron kasi silang package rates for the entire voyage. And mas mura yon kung parang bulto mo na siyang bibilhin. Kami, for 3 nights, we paid $66 or 4,070 pesos. Yun yung regular na internet access lang, mga browsing, ganyan. Walang streaming. Hindi ko lang alam kung nag-increase na yung presyo. And again, this is just for one device at a time. Kung meron kayong multiple devices na i-connect, you need to log out one device first bago nyo ma-connect yung new device. Doon nyo na mabibili yung internet access on board na dun sa Navigator app. Yun. Ang tanong, mabilis ba? So ito yung speed test na ginawa ko on board. Yung isa, 3.76 Mbps in download speed. Yung isa naman, 2.75. Makaka-browse ka naman, pero syempre hindi siya kagandahang speed, di ba? Hindi siya mabilis. May lag talaga. Pero carry naman kung browse ka lang. So, kapag patapos na yung sailing ninyo, ito naman yung mga kailangan gawin. On your last full day on board, you can pack your bags and dalhin nyo siya outside yung stateroom door ninyo. By the deadline indicated doon sa app. Usually 10 p.m. yan. 10 p.m. the night before your disembarkation. Sa hapon pa lang, doon sa day 3. Hapon ng day 3, bibigyan na kayo ng luggage tags and may character na ma-assign sa inyo. So yung luggage tag namin, kunyari sa amin, si Aladdin yung naka-assign sa amin. Natuwa pa nga ako kasi mga old school na characters na male, si Aladdin yung favorite ko. Before kayo mag-disembark, kailangan nyo ring isettle yung mga onboard charges. Most of these will be linked naman na to your key card. So kung nag-link na kayo ng credit card doon, no need to do anything. Automatically, masasettle naman siya, matcha-charge yung credit card ninyo. Unless magka-issue, like kunyari, ma-max out siya, ma-exceed yung credit limit, ganyan. Doon lang kayo magkakaproblema. Pero generally, okay naman na yan. Smooth yan. Wala na kayong ibang kailangan gawin. Pero kung cash kayo, kung cash yung mode of payment na pinili ninyo, you need to settle this manually before 7 a.m. sa disembarkation day or debarkation day. You also need to accomplish another Singapore arrival card bago kayo bumalik sa Singapore. Because technically, you'll be re-entering Singapore. So, kailangan nyo talagang mag-submit ng isa pang SG arrival card. Okay, pag-usapan naman natin ang tipping. Mandatory ba talaga? Ang gratuities, yan yung service charges or tips that go to crew members na nagtitake care of you throughout your voyage. $16 yan per adult per night for standard staterooms. 27.25 USD naman yan per night for concierge guests. On Disney Cruise Line, yung nabibigyan ng tip, ang nakakasama dyan ay yung main server, assistant server, head server, and yung stateroom host or hostess, yung nag-aayos ng room ninyo. Yung mga crew members na yan, they provide kasi personalized service throughout your cruise. So yung gratuities are a way of recognizing their work. There are generally 2 ways to pay. Pwede nyo na yung bayaran before yung cruise ninyo, pero pwede rin na dun nyo na bayaran on board. Matcha-charge naman kayo automatically at the end of the sailing. You can also adjust yung amount kung gusto ninyo, or pwede nyo ring dagdagan if you feel na someone went above and beyond for you. In the same way, you can also have them waived. Meron kasing mga gumagawa niyan kahit sa ibang cruise lines, although it's generally frowned upon unless you believe na you got terrible, like really terrible service. On the other cruise ships, we encountered cruisers who chose to have it waived and then they tipped the staff directly na lang. Regardless, here on Disney Adventure, tip vouchers and envelopes will be distributed and iiwan nila sa room ninyo. Ang kailangan mo lang gawin is ilagay yung vouchers dun sa loob ng envelope tapos iwan mo sa room before mag-disembark. You can add more if you feel na they deserve more. Paano naman mag-disembark? Step 1. Proceed to the designated disembarkation area per your assigned time slot. Ginagawa ito by batch. Depende sa assigned na character. So, sa case namin, si Aladdin yung naka-assign sa amin. So, we had to wait until ma-announce na yung mga Aladdin assigned guests pwede na mag-disembark. Tapos, pag natawag na kayo, baba kayo sa gangway, tapos present your keycard and passport. Tapos, pag nakalagpas na kayo sa immigration, bababa na kayo. Collect your luggage at the terminal baggage claim and makikita nyo doon na yung mga luggage, yung mga bags ay grouped together by Disney character assignment. Tapos yun na, disembarkation happens in the morning. Pwedeng, siguro mga 6 or 7 a.m. magsa-start na mag-disembark. Per batch nga. So, kami, 9 a.m. na kami nakababa talaga. Pero, what if yung flight ninyo pabalik ng Pilipinas ay scheduled at night? What if gusto mo pang mag-explore ng Singapore sa araw na yon? Anong gagawin mo? Alam nga naman mag-explore ka na bit mo, laki-laki ng maleta, di ba? So, good thing merong LogMe na luggage deposit and delivery service doon sa cruise terminal. Makikita mo yung booth nila at the arrival hall just below the escalators. They offer convenient luggage storage and delivery services sa Singapore. So you can explore, shop, or enjoy a few more attractions before your flight without being weighed down by your bags. Ida-drop off mo lang yung luggage sa storage booth. So, meron nga sila dun sa Marina Bay Cruise Port. Tapos, sila na yung mag-a-arrange na ma-deliver yon sa airport. Tapos, i-claim mo na lang sa airport. Yung rates nila ay 23 SGD for cabin luggage and 28 naman for check-in luggage. In our case, yung flight kasi namin ay late at night, so nag-explore pa kami sa Singapore after the cruise. Yung bags namin, pinadeliver namin sa airport 4 hours before yung flight namin. Pero actually, earlier pa lang, dumating na siya. Kasi manonotify ka kung ano na yung status nung delivery or kung nasa na yung bag mo. Iiwan mo siya sa cruise port, i-pick upin mo siya sa airport. Diba? Madali lang. So, eto na. Magkano ba ang total na magagastos for this cruise? So, ito yung sample computation natin. Sabihin natin na you're booking a 3-night Disney Adventure cruise traveling as a group of 4 and staying sa inside stateroom. Assuming na you will be flying in on the same day of embarkation and flying out on the same day of disembarkation para hindi mo na kailangang mag-book ng hotel sa SG. So, yung cruise fare natin ay, again, inside stateroom, quad sharing, 30,000 pesos. Round trip Manila, Singapore, Manila flight, 12,540. Yan yung actual na binayaran namin for our flight, by the way. Philippine travel tax, 1,620. Wi-Fi package, optional naman ito, pwede nyong hindi kunin, pero isama na natin sa computation, 4,070 pesos. Gratuities, 2,960. Insurance, 673 pesos. Yung MRT na fare from airport to cruise center, 111 pesos yan pag kinonvert. And sabihin natin na meron kang food allowance na 1,435 pesos for before and after the cruise. Add pala natin yung MRT pabalik ng airport from cruise center na 2.33 SGD. So yung total na is 53,520 pesos. Kasama na lahat halos ng mga pwede mong gastusin. Siyempre, madadagdagan pa yan. Depende kung anong mga gusto nyong bilhin, di ba? Ganyan. Pero if you're staying at a hotel in Singapore for a night before the sailing, ito na yung sample computation natin. So, dadagdagan lang natin ang hotel and a few more meals. So again, 30,000 pesos, yung cruise fare, 12,500 plus, yung flights, 1,620, yung travel tax sa Pilipinas, 4,070 pesos for Wi-Fi package, 2,960 pesos for gratuities, 673 pesos yung insurance, 101 pesos na lang yung pamasahe from airport to hotel by MRT, 2,870 pesos yung meals na natin, mas tinaas ko yung budget, and 2,870 pesos din yung bayad for one night sa V Hotel Lavender. Yan yung actual na binayaran natin when we stayed. And sinamahan ko na rin ng Aerolo eSIM na 3 gig 340 pesos. Discounted na yan kasi ginamitan na natin yan ng The Poor Traveler na discount code kung si Airalo kayo magbubook. For this itinerary, let's assume that your flight is later pa and you'll be exploring SG. So let's add the cost of LugMe baggage deposit and delivery, which is 28 SGD. But I don't know where you plan to go, so just add the expenses dun sa mga attractions that you wish to visit dito sa computation na to. But so far, the total is 59,564 pesos. Again, yan yung minimum amount na you should expect to make. With the exception of the internet expenses, you'll need to pay for these items talaga. Pero yung mga to, estimates lang tong mga to ha. Yung actual cost will vary depending on your cabin category, travel dates, and any promotions running at the time of booking, and yung spending habits ninyo. Di ba? Kung magsha-shop pa kayo, or ang dami nyong kumain, or kung ano man. Pero the question is it worth it? But before we answer that, it's time for our Tipiters of the Week! Special shout out to everyone who commented on our previous Disney Cruise video, at Curtis Railway, at Diaz S. Familia, at Cruiser Fam, at Drin2616, at Sedu Chiha 6153, at Fun Hunt R, at The Brocadas, at Raymond Isaac 9085, at Tia Isabel, at Tomahawk Ayatollah, at Charmaine Carrion 7275, at Shaukat, at Gapos 8212, at Maju Pichu, at Ellen Maya 5856, at Lenlen Chua, at Jesh Juson 65, at Roma Magana 8382, at Jomel Postre 2943, at Chi 7832, at My Creativity Journey, at Jojo's Two Wheels, at Chloe Loves to Travel, at WPS 3023, at Nectar GXU, at Winter X25, at Cruise Explorer TV, at Alan Joseph Ibe 5149, at Christine 16, at It's Fluffy, at Chris Arquero, at Colin 2929, at Don Rick Esperanza 2664, at Tommy Tamay, at I'm Number 11, at Schwiz 77, at Annalisa Senarlo 2286, at Jean Bonus 902, and at Jang Neri. But i-highlight lang natin itong comment ni Iglo Paz. Sabi niya, from your coverage and compared to the other cruises you've reviewed, especially the Royal Caribbean ones, I don't agree that this Disney cruise was worth it. Honestly guys, I've seen you a lot happier and more satisfied than this. An RC Cruise review you did, I think that was the Icon of the Seas ship, was very helpful for me, and was actually a motivation for me and my family to take an RC Bahamas cruise. But that was Allure of the Seas just last April. You showed me in the video that you paid 1,100 USD for the cheapest. Even with the Disney theme, it really didn't look like it was worth it for the both of you. Yun yung sabi ni Iglo Paz. Una sa lahat, thank you for that wonderful comment. Wow, very beauty pageant. And nakakatawa kasi napanood mo rin yung mga previous cruise videos natin. Pero sagutin na natin talaga to. Is it worth it? In all honesty, yes, it is worth it for us. But not gonna lie, there were a few moments when we felt disappointed din talaga. We weren't disappointed that there wasn't any port of call kasi we knew it naman even before we booked. But you have to remember that it was only the ship's second official sailing from Singapore, and it felt like they weren't 100% ready at the time. First, if you watch our Disney Cruise itinerary vlog, yung previous vlog natin, the most obvious was the Iron Cycle test run. It is the longest roller coaster at sea, so we were really excited to try it, only for it to not be operational during our voyage. And I didn't like how they went about communicating it. We asked the reception kasi repeatedly, and they said parate na, check the app, ganyan. Tapos, nung inask namin yung staff, we were told na it was never going to open during our voyage to begin with, kasi may technical issues yata or basta may maintenance, whatever. And that's fine kasi naiintindihan naman natin na it's for safety. But I just hope na they communicated it better. We were also tagged na hindi kami umattend ng safety drill kahit na umattend naman kami and na-scan naman nila yung cards namin, yung keycard namin. Isa-scan kasi yun kapag a-attend ka ng safety drill. Na-scan naman nila pero may notification pa rin sa app na hindi kami umattend. So, ang weird. Tapos, syempre, may video kami na umattend kami, di ba? So, pagpunta namin sa reception, sinabi namin na nag-attend kami, ni-scan, and actually may video nga kami nung safety drill eh. So, kinorek naman nila, pero wala lang, parang haba nung pinila namin para lang i-clarify na umattend kami ng safety drill na dapat hindi nangyari, di ba? And yung app was also a little bit clunky. It was telling us details na hindi naman nag-a-apply on ground. May mga attractions dun sa app na lulubog lilitaw, minsan nandun, minsan ay biglang nawala. Tapos, may mga shows na you're encouraged to reserve, pero first come, first serve naman siya in reality. So, ganon. May ganong issue sa app. And dun sa show na ang tawag is Remember, supposedly yan kasi ang isa sa pinaka-highlights daw talaga ng cruise. Parang Broadway style kasi siya. Twice, nung nanonood kami, twice siya nag-stop sa gitna kasi nagkaroon ng technical difficulty. Never nangyari yun sa any of our cruise experiences through the years. Never siya nangyari, dito lang. So, all these were probably because it was only the second sailing. Second pa lang siya di ba? So, medyo nangangapa pa siguro sila. And may mga, di ba, sa mga ganyan naman, sa mga shows, sa mga rides, minsan may unexpected naman talaga na technical difficulties. Wala namang perfect, di ba? Walang perfect voyage, walang perfect na run. Pero kahit na, di ba, parang if you paid full price for your sailing, you can't help but feel na hindi mo na experience completely yung cruise. May ganong feeling pa rin siya. That said, I still think it's worth it. Gaya nga ng sabi ni Vince sa previous vlog natin, sobrang dami pa rin kasing pwedeng i-enjoy sa ship. To the point na 1 a.m., 2 a.m. na kami nakakabalik sa room namin. And yung pinaka-proof na na-enjoy talaga namin siya is na mag-sail kami ulit. We enjoyed it so much that we are booking it again. We're sailing again, this time kasama naman yung family. And I think my mom and yung mga senior relatives namin will love it kasi hindi naman sila after sa mga ports of call talaga. Kahit yung mga previous sailings namin sa ibang cruise lines, pag tumitigil yung barko sa port of call, parang ayaw na nilang bumaba. Mas gusto nila, na-enjoy na lang yung barko. Kasi parang hindi na nila masyadong gusto na maglakad-lakad sa mga destinations, di ba? Mas gusto lang nila mag-relax and i-enjoy yung mga shows, i-enjoy yung mga amenities ng barko. So yun. And kung Disney fan ka talaga, and I think ako kasi, lumaki rin kasi ako na Disney fan din talaga, may enjoy mo talaga siya. Magiging worth it talaga siya for you kasi it's a boatload, literally, of nostalgia. Para kasi siyang floating Disneyland and Disney Hotel na pinagsama. Kung family kayo and may kasama kayong kids, nako, sobrang saya nito. Pang family kasi talaga siya. Pero to be honest, we still prefer Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas. Kahit nga Spectrum of the Seas, mas na-enjoy namin siya kaysa dito sa Disney Adventure. Kasi as an adult, mas marami kaming may enjoy talaga dun eh. Mas para sa amin yung mga attractions on board sa mga Royal Caribbean ships. But still, I can categorically say that the Disney Adventure Cruise is worth it pa rin talaga. Maraming issues, hindi siya perfect, pero worth it. Worth it pa rin siya for us. If you enjoyed this video or if you find it helpful and you're interested in Disney cruises, please inquire or book through Wonder Monsters. Just message ask@wondermonsters.com or facebook.com/wondermonsters. That's all for now. Remember, plan smart, travel safe, and make every cruise worth it.